So just so you know, Game Genies, it's explicit. Don't have it with kids around. We're not really doing a funny one today because there's some serious we got to talk about, Fred.
Yeah.
So, start the show off.
Some tragedy.
Tragedy. If you followed any of the news for the last 2 days, you saw horrible shooting incident at a Madden tournament. So we just want to kind of take a few minutes before the episode actually begins to discuss this.
Yep. Yeah, we just wanted to basically weigh in on it a little bit and just...
Pretty shitty. So
yeah,
two individuals died, along with the shooter, who has now been confirmed to have had previous mental health issues documented by court documents about 10 years ago. So, again, another fucking mass shooting.
Yep.
I mean, you call it mass shooting because he shot, even though he only killed 2 people, he still injured another dozen or so.
I think, like 9 or more people.
Okay,
yeah.
so essentially a dozen people impacted by this. So another mass shooting in America, a public setting, this time obviously in relation to a gaming tournament with Madden, and another issue that spawns, it seems, from mental health. So,
yep.
Sucks. Pretty shitty.
So, I mean, from what I understand, this tournament was taking place at some gaming bar of some sort.
Right.
And I guess the place...
in Jacksonville?
Yeah. And I don't think that they are to blame for any of this. I don't think that anyone would anticipate needing heavy security for something. I mean,
I'm sure there will be going forward at a lot of places. It'll be a lot more prevalent in the preparations for any tournaments, which it should be. That's a place you should be able to go and feel safe. I mean, I understand this is the fucking 2018. We live in times where that's not the case. But either way, really shitty. Pisses me off. Somebody loses because the individual, if you're not following the news, was a participant in the tournament that was eliminated, I believe, the day before. Came back with a gun and shot the place up. So,
from my understanding, there's something to do with totally not justifying it in any way, because at the end of the day, he pulled the trigger. But somebody mentioned that there was some bullying going on there, and that happens. I mean, people get overly competitive at things like this, especially within like a sports community. People are just like mindlessly, aggressive.
Competitive. I mean, there was a video released the night before of individuals yelling and screaming at each other, like, talking shit. I have no idea if it involved the parties that were shot or the shooter himself. But either way, thoughts go out to their families. That sucks.
Yeah,
terrible
I mean,
thing.
it was so unwarranted. Is like literally maybe the most pointless reason to ever shoot or kill another person.
Injure anybody. I mean, it's completely pointless, incomprehensible.
I think what it comes down to is, I think the whole reason that some of this bullying stuff was pulled out of all this was because, he reacted violently to being disrespected, or so it seems. And
right.
I think that a lot of times people or men are usually the ones behind these sorts of acts of violence, mass shootings, murders, things like that. Especially, when it's just like comes out of nowhere like this. And what it comes down to is that kind of an entitlement to act out if you feel like somebody's wronged you or disrespected you in some sort of way. If you ever feel that way, you just need to go somewhere else and do something else. Or tell somebody.
If you do have, especially documented mental health issues, get treatment for it, get help. Something that I can think of for a lot of these cases, act before it gets to that point. One other thing I guess kind of want to say is, it's really, really unfortunate. You mentioned the bullying thing. At the end of the day, maybe it's something to be looked at for all tournaments, that there is mutual respect going around for all players. Because, just like in real sports, for example, because, this is esports, but in actual sports, you have players talking shit to each other and stuff. But if anything gets heated, we have referees there to get in the way and say,
they make sure people will get fined if they're too aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So, I mean, just maybe this is just something that needs to be looked at. Either way, 2 innocent individuals have died. And, from everything I've heard, they were, really into the Madden esports community. There were 2 individuals that were well known. The only other thing I can think of also is just that it's kind of sad that, I mean, this kind of hit me hard because I'm so into gaming, video gaming, and especially I had such a good time at PAX, and especially watching some esports tournaments, as well as participating in some. So, it kind of impacted me, even hearing the audio from it, that, goddamn, that's a place that people go to have fun. You could hear everybody enjoying themselves right before it happened, and it's crazy to go from such a happy spot to immediately tragedy within a split second. And what sucks, though, I'm kind of selfish about it, because I'm thinking, and I mean, I feel bad about every mass shooting I hear about on the news. That it's sad that it's so prevalent nowadays. But this one hit me specifically because it has to do with something I'm very passionate about. And so, I don't know. Well, I feel like that's the problem, is that we just see so many mass shootings and we're so far attached from it that we don't even really, I mean, we're like, well, there's going to be another one in a month. I mean, it's by the end of the week, some stupid shit is going to be on the news that attracts people's attention about politicians saying one thing or another. I mean, it sucks. But it's something, we're not going to get into the politics of gun control or anything, but I mean, I'm sure this is bringing up, I've already seen it bringing up more gun control debate. And either way, something needs to change in the country as far as whether we do some sort of gun control or evaluate how seriously we take mental health in this country. So that's my spiel.
I mean, we're not going to get too much into the politics of it, but I think people need to be more open about what gun control means. It doesn't mean take away all of your guns. I think we need to control how guns are distributed through this country. You can't just keep ignoring it. They tried months ago to blame violence on video games, and there's violence in the video game community right now because of what happened just the other day, and it was over a sports game. These people aren't committing mass shootings at tournaments where people are playing shooters. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not even a point. I guess it just is what it is. But nevertheless, EA did release a statement. They said that they're going to cancel the next 3 parts of this tournament. They're going to strategize how from this point forward to have better security, and they're going to make sure that these events are more supervised, and it's unfortunate that for the longest time it was just an event that people went to enjoy. Now it's something that needs to be monitored and
another
heavily.
Fucking asshole has ruined another great thing in the world, because now we're going to have to worry about it. I mean, it's going to be in the back of everybody's mind, to some extent. I mean, all right, well, let's move on. We'll actually start the episode now, and not to take away from anything we just talked about, but I don't want to talk about really sad shit that makes me feel like crap. So we're getting on to some actual fun shit. Fred, hit the music. All right, so welcome to Game Genies. I am your host, Ryan. This is my lesser host.
Where we have a third host today?
Okay, this is just the other host that happens to be sitting. I mean, you're across the country, so I can't see you, but I'm assuming in a chair, a slightly lower elevation than me.
It could be.
Are you recording, Fred? Let me ask you if you're recording.
I'm recording.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Your name is Fred. I apologize. We are the Game Genies. We are in your house. Nope, we're not. We're probably in somebody's car.
Maybe in your car.
Listen to a podcast in their house. That's sad.
I do
unless
sometimes.
You're doing laundry. Yeah, if you're doing laundry or something like or chores. Even if you're pooping.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past me to not poop to poop rather and not listen. Okay, I'm done with that. As always, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at
Game Genies Cast.
And also, I guess, on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere a podcast is listenable, except for iHeartRadio, because they don't heart us, actually, and find us respected as a journalistic podcast. So,
yep. They didn't tell us that, but we're assuming that.
We're assuming some shit. Also, you know what else I'm going to assume?
What?
That sound means it's time to drink.
Go, 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 go.
No, I was going to do it. I'm going to do it, goddammit. It wasn't wine. It's sparkling, so it didn't have the good thing. So
yeah, there's nothing.
That was really anticlimactic. Yeah. Much like Fred last night. Rachel told me about it. Sorry to hear what happened, Fred.
Thanks.
Anyway,
word of the day:
paper bag.
Trailer.
I like that. I like that a lot. Punishment is TBD.
TBD?
TBD.
The big dang ass.
That's not what that stands for, but good for you, Fred.
Punishment is going to be
you have to go to the Academy Awards, get in front of Brad Pitt, and tell him, "Hi, my name is Fred." Or Ryan, if it's me, and then he shakes your hand. As he shakes your hand, you zap him with one of those little electric zappers. And he goes, "Good," and he goes, "Ah," and you go, "Ah," and he goes, "Ah," and he goes, "Ah," like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, does that sound like good punishment? Is that okay? Well, okay. Really? I didn't think it was that bad. It would be kind of funny. You'd probably get on the evening news.
How about this?
Ugh, all right, fine. Fuck me, right?
If you lose, dealer's choice. We decide on the spot.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I do want to talk about real quick. If you haven't seen, this is unrelated. It's not Ryan's rant because I'm not ranting about anything. But just real quick, make sure to go on Instagram and look up Paul Flart.
It's a fun name.
You will not be... Fred, have I not sent this to you?
No.
It's a security guard that for 6 months filmed himself farting. Took like 3-second videos. He ended up getting fired last week. Actually, Facebook lived him getting fired, which is hilarious. But he has one specific fart video on his Instagram. It's the only one that he is not. What do you call it? It's the only one that he is not looking in the camera, kind of like a selfie, right? So it's not a selfie. And the thing is, I don't know why this was the only one. I mean, I know why it was the only one that he didn't use it as a selfie, but it is worth it tenfold. I mean, I guess I just kind of have to. I have to, Fred. I have to show. I have to. There's a story, as Jake the Steak, friend of the show, would say. There was a story behind this fart. Are you ready for it?
Yep.
All right. It's so we are such fucking children, but it's the greatest thing in the world. That guy, that's some positive news from all the shittiness that's coming out lately. There's some positive in that a guy got famous over the internet and had a whole Vice article written about him, and he's now taking it as a brand. He's branding himself just by farting, and he's a goofy looking dude. But he seems like such a nice guy.
And his name is Paul Flart.
Paul Flart, yeah.
Rachel, you saw this, the dude who farted.
Yeah, some good stuff. Okay.
He got fired.
What? For posting that?
All right, we got to move on.
But, good job, Paul Flart. Okay, so maybe right now would be a good time for you, Fred, to finally tell them what this podcast is all about.
Game Genies is a dangerously cheesy podcast where we yell at each other so you don't have to. We use our lifetime's worth of gaming knowledge to give you the insight into today's most interesting games that you might not already have. And if you do have that gaming knowledge...
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
All right, so you should probably do the top of tops now. I think it's about that time to fucking finally do the goddamn top of the tops, Fred?
We got 5 big ones on top of the tops. Tops games of the week. First and foremost, we got a couple games we're going to talk about. We're going to touch on Hunt, the Showdown. This is the game that we heard about last week. It came from Gamescom. Ryan got to play it.
Yeah, I did the early access on Steam. I think it's worth it. Well, I'll give you my first little feedback, and I will tell you that I fucked up last week and had no idea what the hell